Hey friends, it's Sabrina here with Anderson Realty.
Joining Sabrina, Tyler with Anderson Realty as well.
We're starting something a little new today. You guys may have seen that I was requesting for you guys to send me your funny real estate related stories, whether you're a realtor, whether you were a home buyer or seller at one point, or if you just have some funny home reno gone wrong or even haunted house stories. However, you guys did not send me anything. So I went to reddit.com and I pulled some funny stories, and I'm going to be telling them to you, and Tyler's hearing it for the first time as well. So
super excited.
Yeah, we'll just react to them as we usually would, and maybe Tyler will chime in if he has any advice for those things or stories of his own to share.
Absolutely.
Okay, first one. You can't see it, can you?
No, you can't.
Okay, so this is what are the funniest or weirdest stories of something that's happened while showing a house to a client? So this is from Money Question Throw It.
Okay.
I was a first-time home buyer purchasing a townhouse. The townhouse was from the 70s and pretty much had nothing updated at all. I knew it was a fixer-upper. However, there was the oddest thing. There was a rectangle of carpet in the living room cut out all the way down to the concrete. The rectangle was about 3 by 6 foot. Anyway, at closing, I was about 98% done signing the mountain of paperwork when I decided to ask the seller, who came from out of town, "So what's up with the rectangle of carpet being cut out in the living room?" To which he replied, "Oh, that's where my wife rolled off the couch and died." He went on to say,
oh my gosh.
He went on to say nobody realized she was dead for quite a while.
Oh my gosh. Wow. How do you...
Okay.
That's weird.
So yeah, her body had to be cut out of the carpet to be removed from the house I had just bought.
Well, that's very interesting. I don't necessarily have that exact story, but it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually have shown a house that has had the entire living room and kitchen area were tile, but there was one patch in the middle of the living room that actually was carpeted. So now I'm kind of wondering, was that the reason? But yeah, I can't, nothing is pulling to my head right at the moment as far as any interesting stories for showing property, but that's a very interesting story for sure.
So in Florida, you don't have to disclose if somebody's died on the property, correct?
No, you do not.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, this next one is from Elegant. These names are weird. I'm just gonna skip the names.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not a realtor, but this happened when I was selling my first home. It was one of the first showings we had, so I was psyched to hear feedback so we could get the heck out of our starter home and move up in the world. I had 3 young kids at the time, so hubby and I were still bundling them into the car when the agent and her client showed up. Client was a man in his mid-30s in a full 3-piece suit, probably just off from work. After some small talk in the foyer, the agent asked me casually, "So you don't happen to have any cats, do you?" I explained that we have 1 cat, but she's indoor-outdoor, so I just shoo her out during showings, so she's probably just hanging around the backyard. The man's face instantly goes white. He stutters. "So it's around the house? Where is it?" I told him I don't know, but she just goes under the deck or over to the neighbor's house, so you probably won't see her. I assume he had allergies. No. He turns on his heel without another word and does what I can only describe as a skip, jump, power walk combo up the driveway and down the sidewalk. It's at this point that the agent tells me that he has had a fear of cats, even knowing they're around freaks him out. He never came back. I know I should have more sympathy for the guy than I do, but the memory of him scuttling away from my house in full business attire always makes me smile. I sometimes wonder if he ever found a nice cat-free neighborhood to live in.
Very interesting. Well, to elaborate on something on that, I can't think of anything where I've ever had anybody come in with a house that they've had fears about something in the house, but I have 2 funny stories. One, I actually was just recently showing a house to a customer, and they, as I went to go take the key out of the lockbox, there was a frog that was actually stuck up inside the lockbox, and it jumped out. And of course, the entryway to the house was super narrow. So as soon as it jumped down, it was right on me. And it's just a little frog, but it freaked me out. And of course, I was jumping around and doing a little dance, and she laughed at me. And every house that we saw after that, she made fun of me for it. So that was ridiculous. And then the second thing is, it's definitely just about cats in general. So some of you might know that I'm allergic to cats, but
Same.
I try.
Same.
Same. Yes, exactly. Lucky us. And I don't really have anything against cats, but my body just doesn't react to them very, very well. And so I've worked with multiple sellers that have had pets, and whether it's I've done crazy things, whether it's been picking up their pets and putting them in my car for showings, or letting them outside while somebody comes in for an appraisal. I've helped somebody paint their house where they had 2 cats living in the house and they were full carpeted, and I helped them paint an entire room inside their house, which took a couple of days. And let me tell you, the entire time was so miserable because I was crying and sniffling, and it was like they like to keep their house at 80 degrees. It was absolutely crazy, insane. But I wouldn't change it for the world because I want to try and make sure that I go above and beyond for my customers every single time. And then the other one, I have one of my favorite all-time clients that I helped, Kyle and Carolyn. They had a cat that was
their house is impeccable.
It was
you would never know.
It was impeccable, and they had a cat that was they have a cat that's their baby, and you would have never ever have known that they had a cat because they kept that house absolutely immaculate. But the cat stayed at, the cat's a house cat. It stayed at home for the showings, so I tried to go above and beyond and make sure I was there for all their showings, that agents came to bring their buyers, even with other agents bringing their buyers, because we really wanted to make sure that there was no way that cat got out of the house. But it surprises me so much how things like keeping your house super clean and picking up after they cleaning it every single day can make a huge difference.
And if you guys saw our video that we made months ago with the 5 tips for a sparkling home, that is their home. You would never know.
Yeah, you would
Maybe
never know.
I can link it somewhere.
Yes. There you go. Okay.
Okay, there's another cat story in here too.
Oh,
so,
great.
But okay, we're gonna continue this next one. I had made arrangements for my buyer to view a home. The seller was going to let us in if he was home. Otherwise, I was able to use the super lockbox to get the key and let us in. I rang the doorbell, waited, and rang again. Okay, the seller isn't home. I got the key and let us in. The home had 2 wings. Luckily for me, the buyer went left to the kitchen and family room wing. I went to the right to turn on the lights in the bedrooms. Then I saw the owner, passed out naked on his bed. At least I hope he had passed out and was not dead. I ushering my clients out of the home quickly, as I didn't want them to be scared for life by either seeing the naked guy or worse, seeing the dead naked guy. Then I headed back in to make sure that he was okay. Turns out he's diabetic and passed out while getting ready. I was able to wake him up and get him some juice. And then the clients passed on the home.
Well,
yeah.
Definitely no naked people in the house or possibly dead people in the house that I've ever been aware of. But I hope that I never have to come across that for sure. Yeah. So, but there's always something. I've definitely walked into houses where you feel like there's going to be, you're aware that somebody's not in the house, and you knock on the door just to make sure. That's kind of like a courtesy thing that you're supposed to do. And sometimes I guess somebody didn't hear, or they were sleeping, and you get into the house and there's actually somebody in there. Have had that happen before. And that is a very awkward moment, especially when you're with clients, because it's usually we try to keep seller and buyer out of the same room or house throughout most of the process, and especially the first impression counts so much. So it's definitely a little bit weird, but I have not reached anything close to that yet.
Okay, this one's a little hard to read, so this
Bear
is
with us.
Third take. Okay, this person says, I have a couple. First was a home that only had exterior photos, like 20, which I thought was weird. The agent notes that the house is going to be vacant by such and such date, but open to showing by appointment request. I make an appointment, everything looks normal for the outside. I get in the home, the guy had thousands of clown dolls in the house, and every room had a clown theme. Circus, sad clowns, happy clown, etc. Never seen a client say nope so fast. I literally opened the door. The wife said I would rather burn the house to the ground than step in that nightmare, because she really hates clowns. And literally the husband fell to the ground laughing.
Yeah, I would do the exact same thing. I would literally want to burn the house down just from all the clowns. No thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so this was a slightly different question, but kind of on the same realm. But it says, Realtors of Reddit, what's the weirdest thing you found witnessed in a house you were showing?
Okay.
So this one says, I was helping my boyfriend look at houses when he moved and we accidentally walked into a porno being shot. Apparently, the homeowners forgot to tell the realtor that they had rented out the house to a studio for the day.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is like LA or New York City.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh, okay. Not a realtor, but when I was viewing houses, one of the women whose house we looked at owned a bunch of cats that she obviously didn't clean up after. One of her cats, she admitted, peed on her front door so many times that the entire door was rotted. It was a white door,
God,
but
so
3 feet of it from the bottom was stained brown with pee.
Ew.
The house itself was covered in hair. It looked like she didn't vacuum in 10 years. There were inches of hair on her furniture. The house itself was pretty large, but it reeked of pee so bad that our realtor ran out in the middle of the showing and started coughing and spitting into her lawn. He said he tasted pee in his mouth so strongly from the scent that he couldn't even hold on his dignity anymore.
That's pretty bad. I mean, I've been into some pretty gnarly smelling houses before,
Yeah.
or like the hair is like caked on the floor. But usually it's like a listing appointment that I've gone on before. It's before we get it ready to go
Yeah.
live, or it's like a reno project
Yeah,
or something
you
like
can
that. It's
take
not
care
like
of
it's
that
not
all
like if people
before.
live in the house like that.
Mhm.
But you know, we've all seen an episode of Hoarders, so I'm pretty sure we've all seen something pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one. Not a real estate agent, but I went to an open home? Weird way to say that. Open home.
They're not a real estate agent. That's
Yeah.
why they call it an open home.
Where the master ensuite turned out to be a toilet at the end of the bed. Literally a bed with the toilet at the end of it.
Well, that's definitely something new. I don't think you can find those houses every day.
Master ensuite, just slap them together.
I guess.
I mean, how? Why?
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 Okay, why is the big question, and why is what I ask myself when I go into almost every house, because there's always something that I'm like, why? Why did they do this? Why did they pick this? Why did they choose this? And you know, everybody has different taste, and sometimes I think people make not the best decisions. But with that being said, you know, ask yourself why.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that segment. If you have any stories to send, again, like if you're a realtor and have a funny story, or you are a home buyer or seller and have a funny story about your agent, or a home showing, or a home renter or reno project, any like failed stories or like crazy hilarious things that you guys want to discuss or send our way that we can shout out to the world. Or if you guys really enjoy what we had to say today or what we talked about in some of our stories, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel and send us any comments below. If you guys have any requests for any specific types of stories, we would definitely be more than happy to come back with some more. And next time I'll think of a few more of my own personal stories to share with you guys as well. Yep. See you guys next time.